Welcome, Ghosts, back to Bullet Catcher Gaming. I am joined today by Sandyland again, and we would like to introduce you to a very, very special series of videos that is about to start with this very one. This is part one. This is literally our love letter to the Ghost Recon franchise. Something that we truly hope that you will appreciate in full, because of A, all the hard work that's gone into it, and B, it really is utilising every piece of feedback that we've ever had. Now, we're talking over years here, multiple different videos where we've asked for information from you, from weapons to stories to all sorts of things, which obviously we'll continue to still ask those questions, but we've utilised that feedback that you've given us to create a concept effectively. It's been the best part of a year in the making to put all this together. And, you know, some people might be asking, well, is this a real game? Is it not? No, it is not a real game. It's a concept for Advanced Warfighter 3. It is effectively a complete game, the design of a complete game, built from the ground up. During the course of the making, we just called it Project Warfighter, and then later on in the process, as we mapped the story out, it became Advanced Warfighter 3. It would be an open world game. So effectively, the concept for the game is more, you know, it's going to basically take about 7 or 8 videos realistically to show you this concept. It's going to go through everything from the world building, the characters, locations, for example, story, even DLCs, mission types, vehicles, weapons, and of course, really importantly, in-game features, even AI teammates. Everything that you can think of is going to be covered in depth. Now, it's also going to incorporate lore and characters from previous Ghost Recon titles, as you'll see as we go forward. And what we plan to do is to do one video every week. So kind of breaking down each part of the game in those videos. It may even go more than 7 and 8. It depends on how we're getting on with it. Now, what you will see is hundreds of different plates that we've put together with information on it. They'll be in the background. We won't obviously be reading those verbatim, because I'm sure no one wants to just sit and hear us read off of things that you could read yourself. So go ahead if you're really interested in this and the feedback that we've incorporated that you gave us. Just pause any plate you want. You can take the time to read any of it. We'd love you to read it, of course, and provide feedback. That would be amazing. This is just a true love letter. We love this franchise, and it's something that we hope that you'll enjoy as much as us. This first video is really just a brief overview of what the initial idea is. Other videos obviously are going to have a lot more detail. So, and as I said, feedback would be brilliant if you could provide that. So I'm going to hand you over to Sandy, who's going to give you an overview of the first plates that we're going to show. So I'll come back to you after he's finished. Sandy, over to you.
Thank you for that, Andy. So, welcome, Gus. It's Sandy here. First thing I want to take you through on the first slide is going through things I wanted to ratify where some confusion with the actual structure of the ghosts. As you can see here, according to the law, it was changed in 2014 for Delta Company to Group for Specialised Tactics. And I've looked through the law, and the first thing that I found that actually corroborates that, it was actually formed after the Future War Assessment carried out by Colonel Harris at the behest of General Keyes. If anyone needs to find this, it's mentioned in The End Begins, Ghost Recon, a short story. Unfortunately, it doesn't say exactly when they were reactivated, but it does mention again in Ghost Recon Choke Point, that Group for Specialised Tactics was activated sometime later in 2014, and it had moved to 4 companies: Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta, which were also mentioned in Choke Point. Now, although it's not an official, it does say on the Ghost Recon wiki that the estimated strength of the Ghost now is up to 200 to 250 operators, and it is believed to be modelled much more on Delta Force and British SAS. And an interesting thing that I found mentioned in Ghost Recon Dark Waters, and this was mentioned by Nomad when he first encountered the Ghosts, was that the rest of the army think that GST is actually a training unit and not actually operational. So I've tried to add all that in here. And then on the next page, I've took all that information and I've created a proper structure for what GST would look like now, or the best approximation of what we think it would look like, including attached air and naval assets. So moving on for there's a quick breakdown of the 4 companies in a bit more detail. The game itself that we're looking at here today is going to be structured around a company. All the operators you see within a company would be in the game. They would all be either playable characters or AI teammates. The only people that would be in the game but wouldn't be playable will be your HQ element, which is the 3 at the top. So basically Nomad and the company EXO and the company Sat Major, who would be sitting in an HQ being supported by elements for Headquarter Company. As we go on, you'll see that I've added Charlie and Delta teams in there. Charlie and Delta companies in there as well. There will be a small element at some point in the game from Charlie Company, just a 4-man team for Charlie Company, as part of a joint GST SAS operation. Next, we move on to the prelude mission for the game itself. It is loosely based on the events of 13 Hours in Benghazi, and it is designed effectively to give that first appearance what the game is, where it's going to be, and why the ghosts are involved. At the end of that specific mission, the prelude mission, I would like to hope that there'll be a cut screen that'll then go back to the Ghost base at Fort Bragg, where they go into the Liberator Bar and Sports Grill, and Colonel Mitchell briefs about Viper being killed and that A Company's getting ready to deploy. Which again, I think would just be a nice wee cut screen, bit extra info, bit and something different. Moving on from there, we have the initial map of the region that the Ghosts are going to be working in, which is Tropia, which is based on Azerbaijan, but in a slightly alternated timeline. Next map is just a bit more detail about the wider region. Every country that's mentioned in there is a plan for a DLC content that takes place in that country. And then we move on to the situation. The situation is basically just talking you through the start of the game effectively. What's happened in Atropia, why the Allied nations are involved, and why the Ghosts are going to be there. And then finally, once you've got through them, we're on to the mission statement. The mission statement basically for the Allied nations and the United Nations separately on what each country hopes to achieve within Atropia during Operation Atropian Resolve.
And there you have it. That was a very brief introduction there for the overview. I really honestly can't tell you how much work has gone into this game concept. We believe if you were to receive a new Ghost Recon title, which we all hope is coming, if it was to come out something like this or had elements that we've put together within this game, I think you'd be very happy with the end result because of how much we've listened to what people want. I hope that the depth and detail for, that was something that people are really going to enjoy. I mean, even down to like every single mission is fully laid out with full details on how the mission needs to work, including also side missions and other mission types that have been put together. That's the detail that we're going for here. So, we almost believe in a way that there's enough detail here that you could almost kind of pass this over to a developer and say, here you go, here's a fully fleshed out story from beginning to end, including what to work on DLCs, things like that. Now, we're not saying that's going to happen. Of course, we're not saying that. This is just a concept because of our love for Ghost Recon. We know that games take years to develop and worlds to build and things like that. That's not what we're saying at all. This is just, like I said many times, it's just a love letter from us to Ghost Recon and hopefully to you, so you could maybe enjoy it too, and we hope you do. Also, just as a little finisher, anyone who has served in the military will most probably recognise Atropia. So that's quite interesting. That's why we chose that location. So I'm going to end it there. This was just a little preview. We're going to be doing one a week. The next video will probably be around the situation of the game and the friendly forces, including, say, what the Ghosts and the CIA kind of mission objectives will fully be. Hopefully you'll join us for that. Drop us any feedback below. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch. We appreciate every single one of you. Take care, and we will see you again on the next one. Bye-bye.